Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here this morning with Summer Starr, who's been part of our community for a number of years now, coming to the Fairy Congress. And she is teaching our workshop this coming Saturday, which is, I have to check my calendar even, it's Saturday, August 20th. We'll be starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And the topic is ancestral healing, which yeah, from our previous conversations, it's become, well, we're all aware of how important that is, but how did you get interested or pulled into ancestral healing?
I like to say the plants pulled me into ancestral healing. I was originally doing a lot around kind of aromatherapy, but more, they called it aromatic shamanism, where you're really working deeply with the plant spirits through aromas. And my teachers taught a course on ancestral healing with the support of the plants. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, and didn't really think too much about it. And then it just blew my doors open. And it was like, okay, this is a big calling for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. What can you say, like when it blew your doors open? What was that like?
I mean, I just immediately knew that this was something really important for me. So that workshop was on like a Saturday, and on a Sunday I signed up for an ancestry.com, account, and did this mad tracking my main lineages. And then actually what happened was on Monday I had joined a book group. We were reading Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi. It's the history of racist ideas in America. And I started that book. We were having our book group on Tuesday, and the first like fifth of the book was dedicated to Cotton Mather. And I was like, that sounds interesting, familiar. And he's a cousin on my mother's line. And so
Oh,
I had just tracked that, and it I do nonprofit work and a lot of like equity, diversity, inclusion work. And it just married like all these diverse things that I had been studying that were sort of like disparate. And they kind of came together in that work. So the anti-racism work and the plant work and the ancestor work, just, yeah. And um, later that fall, I was invited to write a chapter in a book um, called Whiteness is Not an Ancestor. And it really dived deeper into these concepts that we have that are not real, but that we have so many social structures built up around. And yeah, so that was kind of my like just sucked into that world.
mm,
Yeah.
interesting. And can you say something about, in terms of your connection to the Fae? 'Cause I know you have a fairy family. Have
Mhm.
they had any response or?
Yeah. Um, so my big thing from the Fae is just like a lot of gratitude. It's like the ancestral work is kind of cleaning up the refuse that's surrounding the earth, and the consciousness that surrounds the earth. And actually, in the work that I'm trained in, part of what we do when we heal a lineage is we ground that energy into the energetic imprint that's been left in the earth by those people. And so there's a bit of, to use Camilla Blossom's term, land alchemy that happens in the work too, where you're tending the spaces that those ancestors have been. So there's a great deal of reciprocity in terms of doing this work and supporting the work that the Fae are doing. And I will also say some of my lineages have direct connections to the Fae as well. So,
Hmm.
there's that connection as well.
Oh, cool.
Um, so yeah, it's definitely loved and supported by those ones.
All
Yeah.
right. Lovely. And so, can you give us just a quick taste of what the workshop will cover?
Yeah, so I'll be giving an overview of, so there's many different styles and ways to approach ancestral healing. So I'll be talking about the one that I'm trained in, and sort of some of the benefits of it's a very linear process, and that helps you kind of dial into certain ancestors and really get to know what's happening on your certain lineages. So I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll also talk about the importance of boundary work in this and ritual safety. And I think one of the number one reasons why people don't do ancestral work is because it's a murky field, to be starting to work in. There's a lot of not well ancestors, and so a lot of people are just, oh, I don't even want to do that. So a lot of the work is just really maintaining ritual safety and strong boundaries. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll have a drop in where I'll guide people to actually meet a well ancestor and start developing that connection with them.
Oh,
Um, so there'll be some
wow.
practice time.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely. Oh, this sounds perfect. I'm so excited. All right. So again, it's Saturday, August 20th, 10 a.m. Pacific, and it will be recorded and available in the community if you miss it. And we look forward to seeing everybody. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.